chicken, and it's going to work really well. We're going to start off with, let's have a look at these ingredients here. We've got some garlic, that's already been chopped up. We've got some shallots, and we've got some sea salt and lemon juice. It's as simple as that. And all we need to do is take the shallots and the garlic and place them into a food processor. A little bit of salt. Now, the salt is going to do a couple of things here. It's going to absorb some of those garlic juices, as well as it's going to give it an abrasive to help the blades work and break down the shallot and the garlic in here. A little bit of lemon juice into this mixture. It's a small amount. And then place the lid on the top. We're just going to give this a blitz. There we have it. Now, if you like this one, you find that it's not broken down enough, just give it another wipe down from the sides, and let's put the lid back on again. And that should do it. Break it down until it's more or less into a pulp and a puree. Now, I'm going to bring this chicken over to the central table here, because as you can see, we've got the bone removed and also the skin's been removed. And what you need to do is take a sharp knife and just make 3 little incisions just across the back. Now, that is going to act as 2 things. It's going to open up the chicken breast, so when it cooks, the thickest part is going to cook more evenly, and also it's going to act as openings to some of this mixture that we're massaging in, and it's going to open up the pores, and then you can just sort of rub this onion garlic mixture all the way around and all the way over the meat. If you wanted, you could put this into a little plastic bag, place that into your refrigerator, and just let it sort of marinade for a couple of hours. That's all it needs, and it starts to take on those flavours. Very nice indeed. Let's have a look at the other aromats. This blackening effect is going to come from these 3 spices. We've got some cayenne pepper, paprika basically, and it's a sweet paprika. It's a Hungarian national herb spice. We've also got a little bit of allspice, which it comes in the form of a little tiny berry. The tree grows something like 27 feet, and the allspice got its name from cinnamon, cloves and nutmeg, and that's basically what it represents, allspice. And then we've got a little bit of hot chili pepper just here. And all you need to do is sprinkle the mixture all the way over the back and sides and just roll that in. Look at that. Very nice. We've also got a little bit of thyme. Got its name from the Greek, tium, which basically means burn sacrifice. And that's what they used to do. They used to burn the thyme in temples, and also these medieval times used to burn it in the houses and the huts, basically to fumigate the little houses and to cleanse the air. Massage all that together, and then in a little pan, what we're going to do here, into this pan just here, small amount of oil, use a little bit of corn oil, warm that through, get your pan nice and hot, and just seal the meat. You can start to hear it sizzle. Now, be careful at this point. You don't want it overly hot, otherwise those spices are going to burn. It will cause a lot of smoke, and believe you me, you'll feel it at the back of your throat. So just warm that through, turn it around, then place that into a preheated oven round about 180 degrees Celsius, and that will take, depending on your thickness of your chicken, round about 12 minutes in totality. So just toss that around and place that out the way. Now then, to get that dressing, what we actually need here, I'll bring this over so I can show you, the grapefruit. Now, this grapefruit here has been segmented, and I'm just going to drizzle, if I can find it over here, a little bit of oil over the top of this grapefruit, because we're going to char grill it, make some nice lines and patterns over it. Grapefruit didn't really exist until around about 1885. That's when they started to come into full production, and it sort of travelled from Jamaica over to Florida. And now most of the grapefruits grown are in sort of Florida region, and half of them go into juice and concentrated juices. Listen to that sizzle. A little bit of oil, on goes the grapefruit. You might get a few little marks here, but the caramelization process taking place, we're just going to warm that through. You don't want to overcook it, otherwise it's going to break up. Place the grapefruit down and just let that start to work. In this pan here, I've got a very low heat. What I'm going to do is add a little bit of oil into this pan, small amount, and then add, let me show you the ingredients. We've got here some garlic. There's quite a bit of garlic. Now, if you don't want too much garlic, place the garlic, you can even keep the close whole, place it in, warm the garlic through, bring out the flavour, then just strain it off and use the garlic oil. That will give you plenty there. We've also got here a little bit of juniper berry, to which I'm going to crush into a pestle and mortar. Now, the juniper berries, there's 2 varieties actually. There's a male and there's a female. The male produces this sort of cylindrical fruit, while the female produces the little tiny berries that we know. And it's only the female berries that we use. And they're usually picked and collected while they're still immature, because otherwise they'll become ripened and they'll be very, very soft and they'll go very mushy. So then the juniper berries are actually laid out in the sun to dry. Berries go in, and the flavour, reminiscent of gin, of course, to which is another ingredient which we're going to add. That was developed late 18th century. A little bit of juice in here. This is grapefruit juice. Pour the grapefruit juice in, bring that to the simmer, and the gin, of course. Developed late 18th century, not in Geneva, as a lot of Brits used to think, because obviously gin, Geneva, little place in Switzerland. It was actually developed in Holland by a couple of doctors in Holland University. Straight away, that and that works so well, believe you me. I'm going to put the ginger and the garlic in. It's the ginger, it's the garlic that goes in. And I've also got here a little bit of rosemary, something which I need today, because in medieval times, the students used to make a little crown out of rosemary and stick it in the head, and it apparently helps stimulate the brain. And they still use it today in sort of hair treatments. A little bit of rosemary goes in there, not too much, it's quite a volatile, strong herb. Just bring that up to the simmer. And then all we need to do is bring our plate over to the centre. Now, because there's so many strong flavours with this, don't forget we've got that blackened chicken, very spicy, quite hot to the back of the throat. We've got some strong flavours in the form of grapefruit juice. And swap the pan so we get a little bit more heat on the go just there. We're going to use a salad. The salad, we've got some nice spicy leaves here. It's nice and fresh. So I find that the leaves, the freshness and the cleanliness from the leaves work really well with these strong flavours. So just toss these leaves around, rocket leaves and a little bit of coriander, a little herb mixed in together. Place that into the centre. We've got a chicken that's already been cooking for around about 12 to 13 minutes. The aroma, absolutely delicious. And this is the chicken. We can cut that into a couple of 3 pieces and just scatter around the top of the leaves. Should be nice, juicy and moist on the inside. And just place that over the top. Look at that. Very delicious indeed. Then we have those grapefruit segments, which will just lift off the grill, warm through quite nicely. Scatter those all the way around. There we go. Finish that off with a little bit of that dressing. Find a spoon. And that juniper. You can actually strain it all if you wish, but I quite like it when you've got little pieces of the garlic in there and the juniper flecks just working through. And there you have it. One very, very tasty, very simple piece of chicken with fruit, the grapefruit. And now I know you want a recipe recap, so let's have one. To make chicken with grapefruit, gin and juniper, make 3 small incisions across the back of the chicken breast and preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Blitz the shallots, garlic, lemon juice and sea salt in a food processor, then spread all over the chicken. Dust the breast with pepper, allspice, thyme, paprika and chili powder. Fry the chicken in corn oil and then cook it in the oven for about 12 minutes. To make the sauce, warm the olive oil in a saucepan, then add the garlic, crushed juniper berries, grapefruit zest and juice, gin and rosemary. Cook the grapefruit